Okay. Hi, hi everyone. Welcome to June's first Wednesdays. The topic is entrepreneurship, your next step with John Adams. If you guys can keep yourselves muted and put questions in the chat, we will be monitoring them and we'll let John know if there's any questions, and then he can answer during the presentation, so we don't have to wait till the end. John,
Okay,
it's
I'm
all
ready.
you.
So I'm going to do just a quick introduction of you, John.
Okay,
So, hello everyone. My name is Christine Rogers. I am a certified business advisor with the SUNY Brockport Small Business Development Center. You may have known us as the SBDC. So our center, how we're involved here is we provide free and confidential business counseling to startups and entrepreneurs, small business owners, and we partner with the Monroe County Library to bring to you the Business First Wednesdays. And we do take a break in July and August. So this will be our last one for heading into the summer, but we'll be starting back up again in September. Um, our services, I'm just going to chat about that for a second, are made possible by funding from the SBA and the state of New York, and our host campus is SUNY Brockport. We do in-person, virtual, or by phone appointments. Along with our advisement, we do a lot of fast track to business ownership classes. And you can see anything that we're offering, any classes that we're having. If you follow us on the Brockport SBDC on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, so you don't miss any of our events like this one we're constantly posting. So I want to talk a little bit about John Adams, who is our speaker for today. He is a senior franchise consultant and the founder of the Too Tall Franchise Group, where he helps individuals take control of their future through franchise ownership. Backed by the national resources of FranNet, John provides personalized guidance to clients exploring business ownership from initial discovery through due diligence and acquisition. With a strong belief in doing things the right way, honestly, thoroughly, and with an eye on long-term success, John brings a traditional, results-oriented approach to the rapidly changing marketplace. He works with everyone from corporate executives to transitioning professionals, but while offering practical advice improving systems to match clients with the right franchise. Known for his straightforward style, sense of humor, and 6 foot 10-inch frame, John is a recognizable presence at business events and a trusted advisor in the franchise community. So, John, I will let you take over and thank you for being our speaker today.
thanks, Christine. I'm delighted to be here. I will say I cannot say enough about the Central Library of Rochester and Monroe County and the SBDC, especially the Brockport office. A lot of my clients use both resources and top notch, absolutely top notch. Love working with them. Okay, jump right over here. You get a duplicate on the title page, and this is me. I'm the Too Tall franchise guy. As Chris mentioned, I'm 6'10" and kind of stick out in the room. So if you go to a networking event and there's a guy with his head above everybody else's, it's me. Um, for the fans of AI, this is an 11-year-old headshot. Um, I had AI put glasses on it to make it look current. So that's I use AI all the time for stuff. I've been doing this for 11 years. Before that, I had 36 years of experience in banking, telecom, software, healthcare, and consulting. I'm currently the chairman of the Greece Regional Chamber of Commerce, and I'm a board member with the Buffalo Niagara Sales and Marketing Executives, and also the Union Street Professionals here in Rochester, different kinds of networking groups. Fifth generation Western New Yorker. Um, we had people come in wagons or on the canal to Niagara County in the 1830s, and we've been here ever since. And I work in person in upstate New York and virtually everywhere else. So I can cover the entire country. If you know someone somewhere else who's interested, let me know and I'd be happy to talk with them. So who is FranNet? We've been around for 38 years, almost 40 years now. Um, we match entrepreneurs to franchises. That's what we do. That's all we do. There are over 100 consultants locally. Um, I'm based in Rochester. Like I said, I can cover anywhere in the country. I have one associate who works with me here in town, Angelo Lavecchia. Um, our local market is Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse, but we can work anywhere in the country. And we've been associated with SCORE on the SBDC for as long as we've been around. If you read anything about franchising on their websites, it's probably at least partly written by us. So it's very simple. We match prospects with franchisors. We educate. Education is huge. It's the basis of what we do. Um, we we help you have informed choices. We pre-screen our clients. We do not sell. We coach. We coach. We teach. And our services are absolutely no cost to the client. We're paid by the franchisor if you buy a business. And they keep repeating that we're 100% free. We established a client bill of rights, and we're working with the Federal Trade Commission to encourage all franchisors and all franchise brokers, which is technically what we are, to have a similar thing. I won't read this all to you, it's kind of long, but basically we put you first. We give you the resources you need. We make sure you're fully aware of what is coming and what you need to be ready for. We introduce you to business resources such as the library and the SBDC and attorneys and CPAs to help you gain the knowledge that you need to be informed and aware. So financing, people always ask about financing. Um, there are a ton of options for financing. These are three large franchise-specific funding agencies that we work with: Benetrends, Guidant, and FranFund. But your local banks are a good resource. And again, part of our services is to help educate you on the options that are available and choose the best option for you for your financing. So what we'll talk about today: why business ownership, different options, the risks and rewards. We'll talk about some myths and identify the best option for you, and then talk about your personal business model. So if you were the owner of a successful business, how would your life be better? Why do people go into business ownership? There are a lot of different reasons. The base, control, financial security, no more layoffs, money. No more layoffs is getting huger and huger as we proceed into this, whatever this mess is the economy is right now. It's about fulfillment. It's about flexibility. It's about being able to go to your kid's soccer game at 3 o'clock on a Tuesday if you want to, and not be chained to a desk. It's about independence, but overall, it's about success. And despite that, most people continue working for somebody else. So people think that a job is safer than a business, or they'll wait until the economy is better. They think it costs a lot of money to start and run a business. They're afraid that they don't know where to start or how to find what they're looking for, and they're afraid that running a business has skills that they don't possess. So is working for someone else safe? In the short term, yes, but can you be sure your job is safe? Can performance determine security? You meet your long-term financial goals of security and retirement. If you'd asked people at Rite Aid if their job was safe 2 years ago, they probably would have said yes. And yet now every Rite Aid store in New York State is being closed down, and those people are looking for work. There's dozens of examples of that in the community. There was one in Buffalo, a tire manufacturing plant, been in Buffalo for over 100 years. Employees walked up to the front door one day, and the door was locked, and there was somebody standing there from HR saying, "We're not open anymore. Go home, and we'll let you know what's going on." They shut the plant down with no notice. 1,300 people out of work like that. So owning your own business can be scary, but it's yours. No one's going to take it away. You won't be downsized. You won't be transferred. You won't be fired. You can grow the business at the pace you want. And the longer you own the business, the safer it becomes. Risk. Are you concerned about the economy and what the economy can do to your business? And the answer is yes, everybody is, you should be. But you can lower your risk by looking at businesses that reduce the risk in times of economic uncertainty. Those businesses are things that are driven by demographics. Senior care, there's what's the number? 10,000 new baby boomers becoming senior citizens every day. Residential repairs and home modification. If a tree falls on your house, you don't wait and say, I'll wait till the economy is better to fix it. You call the insurance company and you get it fixed. Those businesses thrived throughout the COVID era. Cleaning services. Automotive, beauty, damage restoration, sign companies, commercial cleaning services, all are needed regardless of what the economy is. In fact, the automotive services business is more in demand during difficult times because people hold on to their cars longer. And then businesses that help other small businesses also have a better chance of surviving economic issues. Those include business coaching, marketing, staffing, sales, and employee training. So pets are always going to need care. People are still going to want to maintain their lawns. Senior citizens have a ton of needs. I'm officially a senior citizen now. I do not clean my gutters anymore. I hire a guy to come in and clean them. I'm not going up on that ladder. I've had it. I've done it for 40 years. Time for somebody else to do it for me. The essential businesses that were kept open. Someday we'll stop talking about COVID, but today's not that day. There were a bunch of essential businesses that were still open throughout COVID, and they still needed signage, advertising, cleaning, and more. The cleaning companies reinvented themselves during COVID. They went from cleaning offices 5 nights a week to cleaning offices 1 night a week and disinfecting offices the other 4. Mosquitoes aren't going away. If you want a mosquito-free yard, you've got to have a mosquito service. And children will need tutoring. Every one of the in-person tutoring businesses within 2 weeks of the COVID shutdown was a virtual business, and they converted their businesses to match the economy. So there's 3 ways to start a business. You can start a business from scratch, you can buy an existing business, or you can buy a franchise. If you start a business from scratch, the advantages are you get total control. You make all the decisions. You can be as creative as you want, no rules, very large upside. You build a business from your passion. Disadvantage is you've got to create all those things that you need to support the business, the accounting systems, the HR hiring systems, and compliance, HR compliance systems. Banks are not as excited about lending money to pure startups. They have a slower ramp up and they have a higher failure rate. You can buy an existing business and you still have total control. It may already have cash flow. It may already have goodwill. You get to see actual financial results. That's probably the primary driver that I see with my clients. They want to see actual financial results and therefore want to look at existing businesses. It's more attractive to lenders. There's a market established. You already have a customer base. You already have employees. The systems that you would need to build otherwise may already be in place, and the owner may help you finance. Disadvantage is the cash flow could be lousy. The previous owner may not have done a great job of being a good neighbor and has established bad will instead. It will be overpriced. It's their baby. They want a lot of money for it. The quality of the training and support from the previous owner varies widely. There could be hidden seller motives. I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago they straightened out Dewey Avenue, and they took out that right turn, hard left turn. I forget what the cross street is. But if you were looking at the dollar store on that corner, you might have thought it was a great thing until you discovered that the realignment of the road was going to take out half the parking. And if you didn't know that, that's something that affects the value of the business. Employee defection, some of the smaller fitness centers around town have been acquired by the big box fitness centers, and the employees all left. So they didn't want to work for a big box. If they'd wanted to work for a big box, they would have been. Instead, they wanted to work for a smaller, smaller fitness center where they could give more personal service. So we went out and found those kinds of jobs instead of going with the acquisition. Your debt service is going to be higher because you're probably going to pay more for the business than you would to start up from scratch. With the franchise, you get instant name recognition with a licensed trademark. Business systems are all in place and proven. You get great training and support. Franchises have a much lower failure rate than other kinds of businesses. They tend to be lower cost. There are more financing options. Banks are happier to loan money when there's a business plan and processes are already in place. And very importantly, get to be part of the franchise family. You will meet other franchisees, and you will continue working with them, and they'll trade secrets on how to do things. One of my clients connected with a franchisee in New Orleans, and that franchisee had a magic formula for finding employees. Steve adopted it, and 3 or 4 years in, he stopped advertising for employees because his system just worked. He just kept finding employees. Disadvantages: you can't do anything you want. There are industry options. There's, the operating systems are structured, and you're expected to follow them. That's what you're buying. You may be limited where you can sell and what you can sell, and you will continue making ongoing royalty payments for the life of the contract, which is generally 10 years, by the way. So a franchise really is a license to use names, trademarks, products, and systems in exchange for an initial franchise fee and ongoing royalties. The franchise disclosure document is very important in your research. It's a federally mandated document, so it's the same all over the country. They have little addendums for each individual state, but basically it's the same all across the country. I refer my clients to franchise attorneys in Buffalo and Rochester because those attorneys are very good and they're relatively inexpensive compared to a New York City attorney. And they help with the review. But the FDD gives, which is franchise disclosure document, gives information about the franchisor, how long they've been in business, what kind of experience they have, what kind of bankruptcies do the principal owners and managers have, what kind of litigation is the franchise involved in. Huge thing. You really want to look at that and make sure you understand it. It will give you the cost. Talk about the total investment. Talk about the need for working capital. We'll talk about royalties. And it will give you a copy of the franchise contract, which is what you will sign to become a franchisee. It talks about the obligations. It describes your territory. And very interestingly, it gives you listing and contact info for all current franchisees and for anyone who has left the business in the last 3 years. You can talk to those people as part of your research. In fact, we insist on it to make sure you understand what franchisees see on a day-to-day basis and why people left the franchise. Did they leave because they were failing miserably, or did they leave because they were wildly successful and sold it and you're reaching them on a beach in Florida? There will be earnings claims or audited financial statements. Talk information about managing the business and about how to renew, terminate, and transfer the business. It's a business. You can sell it. There are rules to how to sell it. The current and past franchisees, like I said, are a great resource. It's part of our due diligence. They let you know what's going on with the business. They can tell you what their financials were. They can tell you what their they can tell you what their challenges were with the company. This is very, very key part of your due diligence research. You can't do that with an independent business owner. And this is really the only place where you can use, where you can perform extensive research with past results. So myth or a fact? This is the important part. This is a myth or a fact. Franchising is only fast food and retail. Absolutely a myth. There are 4,000 different franchises in 90 different industries, and there are over almost 800,000 operating units for franchises in the U.S. Franchises succeed because of the quality of the product. Okay, 4th of July is coming up. You're going to have a cookout in your yard. How many of you are going to go buy McDonald's hamburgers to serve instead of grilling your own hamburgers in your backyard? Which is the better product? I would hope your hamburger is. The what McDonald's succeeds on is location, convenience, and very importantly, cleanliness. Quality of food. I could go downstairs and make a better hamburger right now. So that's a myth, and I probably already said all that stuff. It is all about the business systems and the marketing and the sales. With fact, there are low-cost franchise opportunities. Absolutely true. And there's no correlation between the cost of the franchise and your return. You know, the initial investment is the franchise fee, anything you need to get the doors open, and some working capital to make sure you're whole until you have cash flow to pay the bills. And really, if you look at it, there's a lot of small businesses. 3.5% less than 50,000, 9.3% in the 50 to 100,000 range, 26% in the 100 to 250,000 range, and 23.5% in the 250 to 500,000 range. Those are affordable numbers for people coming out of a corporate job and looking for a new opportunity. And those are the ones we deal with. We have a few in the 500 to 1 million category, but our bread and butter really is the 50 to 250 range. Financing. Where do you get financing from? You can draw on personal savings. You can get a partner, whether a family or not. Home equity line of credit. I don't recommend as a funding source for buying the franchise. I recommend it as an emergency cash source for when you own the business. The seller may give you some financing, and you can use retirement money without penalty by a process called rollover for business startup. You convert an existing retirement plan, into a retirement plan in the business, and again, that's without tax or penalty. Let's see, myth or fact, you don't need industry experience. That's absolutely a fact. Franchisors want people who will follow the system and will focus on being an owner. They typically don't want people who come in and buy a job. Okay. A lot of people do it. I have 2 clients who did it and they're very happy. But, they bought the franchise, they do all the work. They haven't expanded to the point where they need to add people. And one of them's been running for 10 years and he's delighted with what he does. But they want to see people who can bring business and management skills and people and communication skills. They will teach you what you need to know to run the business, to run their system. And they will teach you their operations and teach you their accounting systems. So why own a franchise? Well, it's a way to get to your destination when meeting your lifestyle and financial goals. It's a way to reduce risk, and it's income security versus job security. Royalties are a trade-off. You exchange some profits in the long term for risk reduction in the short term. the good franchisors lose money in the short term. You pay a initial franchise fee. Um, Typically those are in the $40,000 to $50,000 range, but it costs more than that for a franchisor to bring a new franchisee on board. Where the franchisors make money is long term. When you're more successful, you're making more gross revenue, and they're taking a percentage of that gross revenue just like they have all along, but now that number is bigger because the revenue is bigger. It's about franchising is about a systematic approach to starting and staying in business. We take your experience, and the franchises have experience with their model, simplicity, training and support, name recognition, sales, marketing, and operational systems, and the culture of teamwork. Very important. And franchises are very different. That's where we come in. Some of them have many units, some of them are brand new and have few units. Some of them have been around forever. There are laundry franchises that have been around since the 50s. McDonald's has been around how long? There are new franchises being born every day. And different people with different interests and skill sets migrate to one end of the spectrum or the other or somewhere in the middle. The systems vary in the amount of structure that they have, and some are more expensive than others. Again, like I said before, no automatic correlation between the cost of the franchise and the potential return. You got to beware of the statistics. I don't know what that first one means. I've been doing this presentation for 11 years. I still don't know what that means. Not all units are still run by the founder. It's a huge bump when the founder leaves and a new management takes over. It can be a struggle. It can be a struggle for the franchisees. There's nothing like an average franchise. Everyone is different. You really only care about your success, and you really have to make sure that the franchise you want fits you. Okay? I could give you a list of 100 franchises and say, choose some, and you will pick the wrong ones. You'll pick the shiny objects. That's not how we work. So really, you're in business for yourself, not by yourself. And how do you find your perfect fit? Am I willing to follow the franchisor system? Is it affordable for me? Is the risk level acceptable? And will I enjoy my business? What's important? Is it the challenge, the recognition, the prestige? Is it building equity for retirement? Is it having flexible time for family and other interests? Is it the independence and control, or is it the financial security? Or is it all of those, or some of them?
Oh,
What we
sorry,
do.
John.
Oh, okay.
We have a question.
Okay.
What if the franchise is more of intellectual property opposed to brick and mortar, such as pet sitting? Should the franchise cost to purchase still be around 40,000?
Yeah, bricks and mortar make franchises more expensive, without a doubt. If you can run a business from your home, at least to get it started, that can be a huge cost savings. And yes, that is reflected in the initial investment. It's that part that I call everything you need to get the doors open. Sorry, I don't usually talk this long. The lower cost franchises are going to be things that you work from home. Okay, let's say that's up to $75,000 to $100,000. Those franchises tend to be work from home. You start introducing a facility that you rent. Now you're talking initial investments in the $75,000 to $150,000, maybe $200,000 range. And then beyond that, it's facilities that you have to build or create or rent a big store. I don't generally push the ones that require a lot of bricks and mortar because it is expensive. I'd rather see my clients start with one truck and two guys And when they get that up to 80%, they add another truck and 2 more guys. That's really the approach I would rather see my clients take. So yeah, there's a reason that franchises are lower cost or higher cost, and you will thoroughly understand those reasons if you work with me. I'll make sure you know it. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Anything else running there, Lily? Anything else in the chat? Okay. So the way our process works is we have you complete what we call the Entrepreneur Profiler Assessment, or the EP. It's a profiling tool that we use. It was developed by a professional psychologic, I don't remember the term. It was invented by somebody that knows what they're doing. And it helps us understand your individual values, motives, and core competencies. The business model, the things we need to consider in your business model are, how many employees do you want? What kind of budget? What kind of business? What's the environment of the business? Do you want to do this full-time or part-time? How many units do you want to own? Is it possible to own multiple units, or is there only one unit? What kinds of customers do you want to have? Blue collar, white collar, repeat, one time? Is it a service or a product? And like we were talking about a minute ago, services tend to be lower cost, products tend to be higher cost. Is it newer established industry? And is there room for growth? And what else? The transferable skills we look for our clients to bring are sales and marketing, operations and management, human resources and financial management, and customer service. If you can bring 1 or 2 of those, the franchisor can teach you the rest. But we really want to see those transferable skills coming into the business. That's what the franchisors want. They want people who can run their business and operate their model. How long do you want to be in business? So we're kind of winding down here. Additional resources. We work with professional advisors, and they have a roster of these people I will recommend to you. Franchise attorney, the business attorney, which is different, your accountant, definitely the Small Business Development Center. If you want to do some reading, I recommend More Than Just French Fries, a quick, easy read. It's written by my colleagues and their experience with franchising. The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber is a book that anybody that wants to get into any kind of business, franchise or not, should be reading. And Street Smart Franchising by Joe Matthews is kind of the classic book to teach people about franchising. Again, very easy read. And he's got a new book out that we're looking at to see if we want to start using that instead of Street Smart. But we've used Street Smart for a long time. So next steps, you can go to friendnet.com and find your local consultant, who would be me. And you can take from there. You can take the Entrepreneur Profile Assessment, and I'll take questions.
John, going back to the question that was in the chat before, there was a follow-up, 80% return or 80% client retention before adding more trucks.
Oh, sorry. 80% capacity of the trucks. Okay. So 2 guys with 1 truck can do X number of jobs a week. When they get to 80% of X, you should be looking to add another truck and more staff. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Anyone? All right, well, thank you, John.
I guess that's the end. I thought I had another slide, but I guess I don't. Oops.
All right.